Astrology time today is Friday. It's the 5th of June. So here we go. Moon's going to be in Aquarius, and it's going to be void of course. Oh boy, another void of course? Yeah, this is going to be a good one too. 3:51 p.m. Now, this is going to be an extended void of course. Now, how extended? It's going to resolve until about 8:43 tomorrow in the evening. So we're going to have a Saturday's void of course as well with the moon in Aquarius. So, look, this is going to be an exciting time, right? An extended period of expressing ourselves in our own unique ways. Now, both tonight and tomorrow. This is an ideal kickoff to Pride Month in my mind. And if that's your jam, then go for it, right? There is a lot of fun to be had for everyone, however. But before we get too caught up in activities and festivities, there's some work to be done. And perhaps your eccentric identity is tied to that work, kind of like an astrologer here, right? So, the moon sextile Saturn suggests some kind of movement on something work-related, and that's going to occur early in the morning. And then it's later on in the day, we're going to have to open up our channels for communication sometime after noontime and until the moon is actually void of course, which, like I said, was at 3:51 p.m. Today's keyword is testing. What are we testing? We're going to find out, right? So the color is a purple, but it's veering towards magenta. Kind of thinking that way. Yesterday's inquisitive energy will turn into today's expressions. Gemini season is beginning to yield a few possibilities. So once again, try not to lose sight of your overall goals in all of this. Goals, plural, right? Venus is closing in on Jupiter in Cancer. Both Venus and Jupiter are in Cancer, expanding our sense of security, not just for now, but for the foreseeable future. The Sun and Mars are in a position to begin helping each other. They're kind of like isolated out there. The Mars is in the middle of Taurus. The Sun is in the middle of Gemini, right? They're starting to begin to see each other a little bit, and there's an offer here. There's something that we can be, perhaps there's some tools here that can start to be utilized just a little bit, right? It's not a huge, it's very minor. You know, it's a semi-sextile, so it's a very minor aspect, but it's an aspect worth considering. Now, and while you're considering that, consider why you've been reluctant to act. This may have something to do with it, and this may just help you get out of these doldrums here. Because if you look at changing it up today, especially if you need to communicate with others, then you can achieve your immediate objectives. That's how we have to do it, right? We have to communicate with others to achieve our immediate objectives. Dreams, they're active and compelling. Mercury in Cancer is making sure of this for us. I'm grateful to all the new listeners we're adding daily. People are communicating more and more on my various channels. When the moon squares Mars, we can get the word out there for whatever project we may be working on. Ultimately, how we present will have more to do with how we want to begin the work that is going on and the work that we want to do and the work that will be ongoing in Aquarius. Now, if you go back and you read the comments from yesterday's short reel on TikTok, you can do that and read it for a little more context, because I do mention the Aquarius season and the nodal shifts and everything like that in just a little condensed section. Please read the comments and on any of my offerings, because people have been very generous with their questions, and I in turn am generous with my answers. So, and they're very well thought out, and people are thinking about things seriously, and there's things to be learned from what other people are saying. So, not just from me. So ultimately, well, let's just do this. The hard thing to do is to remain objective during this entire void of course period with Aquarius, in Aquarius, with so much going on in Gemini, right? It's just hard to remain, objective and focused on what our objectives should be. Tough, right? Gemini season has a way of vying for our attention. Here, shiny, squirrel, right? Yes, squirrel. So many distractions await us. Now, forget Florida and fancy. We're being tested. Choose yourself, your art, and your peace of mind. and double down on opportunities to strengthen our base camp. There you go. So our last aspect of the day is the moon trine sun. This will feel festive, fun, kooky, and creative. It isn't so much about launching alternatives to the mainstream media, because there are larger players that are already deciding to do just that. Our job, now, think about that. This is a test. Our job is to make sure we are committed, capable, and ready when we are called to serve the public in some capacity. And that sums up pretty nicely. So in 1920, the first rivet driven on the Bank of Italy headquarters at 1 Powell Street in San Francisco. They break ground and they drive the first rivet on this date in 1920. I do a sound effect for it, but it's going to be kind of annoying, and I don't think I could be possibly that loud. But that bank later turns into Bank of America. So go figure, Bank of Italy, Bank of America. And I just love that one. And our birth is in 1819. John Couch Adams. He's an English astronomer. He was the co-discoverer of Neptune. And he was born in Laniste, Launson, Cornwall, England. And he died in 1892. The transcript will never get this pronunciation right because, guess what? A lot of the people that settled in Massachusetts came from Cornwall, so that's why Worcester looks the way it does, and it's pronounced Worcester, but Worcester. You got to drop the R too, Worcester. And that's all I have for you. So, Laniste, Launson. All right, so let's recap, shall we? Let's do this. The keyword is testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. And our color is purple, veering on magenta or towards magenta. That's all I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for coming by. Comment, like, share, do all that nice stuff, right? Today's actually a pretty good day, guys. Today's a 7. Happy astrocatting.